Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, guys. Good evening. Welcome to the content team of GDSC's workshop. Tonight, we're going to be talking about AI and creative writers. Is AI going to displace writer, replace them in their jobs, do their job for them, or not? And our speaker is going to be our boss, one we all know. So I hope you all enjoy your time while you stay here.
Hello, good evening, everyone. We have an interesting topic for this meeting. Sorry, for this event this evening, and it has been a long, okay, I won't say long time disagreement or discourse. Well, with the onset of artificial intelligence tools, um, that help generate content, there has been a long time uh, argument about if AI is going to displace us content writers and creative writers, from our jobs or not. So today, our guest speaker is Musa Doluwa, and he's a Nigerian. He's a young man who has a flair for words, and he often jokes about how he writes often. If he's not writing, he's not writing. Writing is a large part of himself. He covers topics on work and work culture, personal and mental development, leadership, governance, and administration. More professionally, he's a three-time publisher on the Move magazine, a creative writer at Outer Design Agency, and a proven content associate at Tech Semester. Also, interestingly, he's a blockchain enthusiast, so he has plenty money. You can all bill him this evening. He writes a bi-weekly newsletter to simplify blockchain and everything that surrounds it. If Musadolua isn't writing, he's probably thinking of writing, solving his Rubik's Cube, or learning not have you here. We can't wait to hear from you. Can we all give can we all just share emojis to show that we are here and we are present and that we're excited to have him here? I want to see emojis dropping. Wonderful. So I would like to hear um from Musa Duluwa Fashasti.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. It's so good to be here. Thank you, Sadi, for that introduction. Thank you so much. It's been a long time, and I'm glad to be here. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Awesome, awesome. It's good to be here. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I see you, and Abdulmumin, I see you. Azos, I see you, and yeah. After some time, it's good to be back around around my people again. Um, Amazing. Thank you for joining. I see you. Thank you so much, my boss. Queen K, I see you. Ikma, I see you. Thank you all. Thank you for joining tonight. I don't know if I can proceed now or what do you think? Should I proceed or are we gonna wait some more time? Let me know what's going on.
You can proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Aposeri. W- First of all, I would just like to thank Azus and the entire team lead for this opportunity to be here this evening. I want to make this session as interactive as possible. So I think into my discourse with you all, I'm going to be opening the floor for if you want to chip something in or there's something you want to ask along the way or there's something that you're not clear about, you can just raise your hand because I know that there's a lot of tension going on actually, and I don't want to make this all serious a thing. I will just dump everything on you and then I will leave. I want to make it very interactive. I want to hear your view. I have been coping, or let's even start this way. I want to hear some people talk because I know that this is the content creation team. I want to hear from your perspective. How has it been? I mean, working with these tools, or how has it been with the craze on the internet about these tools? Does anybody want to say something? I would really love to hear so that I can, we can have a sync. I just want to feel. Is anybody volunteering or should I call somebody? Hello.
Hello, boss.
Okay, someone can hear me. Thank you. Let me know your
So,
view at the moment. Let me hear you out.
so what's your question?
I said I was asking if there is anyone that wants to go. Just talk about your experience, what you have been experiencing with these tools, how it has been for you. Have you been using some of them? Have you totally been ignoring them, or just discuss something, just say
Okay.
something. You're welcome.
If I should talk about it, I have a lot of things to say. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay, just brief it. I just want to grab one or two
Okay,
and then
okay.
we'll go.
So actually, I'm going to just be picking one of them, like the recent one that's brought about that everyone's discussing about. That is ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
So seriously, ChatGPT is very amazing. An AI tool. Seriously, it's a very amazing tool. Like,
Okay.
except the fact that its information is not up to date, every other thing is
Right.
very precise. It can write cover letters. I've been using it lately, seriously. But then I stopped recently when I discovered that my creativity is at stake. So I just
Mm,
decided to put the stop. And then, but all I can say is that AI are actually amazing, though there are some kind of limitations like emotional intelligence, like understanding the context and all of those things. That human can do that, but AI cannot. Other than that, AI is very, very amazing. Then, seriously, if you are going to be real, actually, it's going to display some writers, but not all.
mm.
That's the opinion of general public. Anyway.
Okay. Awesome.
Hopefully, you are going to
Thank you so.
convince us otherwise.
What did you just say?
I say, hopefully, you are going to convince us otherwise.
Well, let's just see how that goes. Let's just see how that goes. So, thank you so much for that. I don't know. Has anyone been? So sorry about that. Has anyone been inspired, or does anybody want to say something else before I proceed? Okay, I guess I'll just
Yes,
have to.
Gabriel.
Yes, Gabriel, you can proceed. Did someone mention Gabriel?
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes. So about what Sir Abdul Mumin mentioned about chat GPT and writers, I think it's not only about writers. It's just that writers are the main focus because I think I've
Mm,
used chat GPT to write codes, to give me codes of a design like website development, the codes on how my app should look like, something like that.
mm,
So I feel ChatGPT is not, or let me say AI generally is not just concerned about writers. It's actually something that spans through writers and web development because literally it can do a lot of things that people do not think it can. I was just trying to check through that day and I tried it and it worked. It gave me code. I told it to give me a website code for an app and something I can just copy and paste. But just like he said, it's actually going to have a lot to do with the president's credibility. So I feel that is the only thing why I feel it should not be used, so to say.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that contribution, Gabriel. So, I'll just be sharing what I have with you guys, and I hope that by the end of you know, this less than 60 minutes that we have to spend together, I believe that we have taken something substantial. So, allow me to share my screen because just have just something to to carry us along. Um, can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. So, AI and creative writers, the fate of global creative. So, which way are we actually going? Because just like Abdulmumin has said, and Gabriel has also said, there is a craze about these AI tools, and then just like Abdulmumin has honestly said, just like he has honestly spoken, the tools are great, right? We can't deny that they are great, but um I just want to point out something real quick first, and that is the fact that everything that you see today has always been, right. Every single thing that you see today has always been. They have just only been rediscovered or improved for the better or for worse. So every single tool that you are seeing coming out today has always been. As a matter of fact, AI has always been, in existence from about 1950s, 1960s. But what I can just say about that is that they have not been, as sophisticated as we have them today. The problem that we have today with the tools is because they are now sophisticated, they are more complex, they can handle more complex issues, they can handle more, they can think like humans, right? They have been loaded with data sets and a lot of information that gives them the ability to do things at the snap of a finger, right? Just like ChatGPT that Mumin said, he can literally just, instead of going on Google and then searching for what is this, what is that, you put it on ChatGPT, bam, you have the answer like straight up in no time. In no time. So I'm just going to give us a brief definition that I got from what's it called now, IBM, right? It says at its simplest form, artificial intelligence is a field which combines computer science and robust data sets to enable problem solving. As the simplest form, it combines what? Data science, computer science, excuse me, and robust data set. So it is just a fusion of computer and then data. And then you have to know that these data are actually things that people actually, source for. Like, if you go on Google now, the information on Google are actually put there by people. The information on Bing are information put there by people. The information on Yahoo, it's, things put on Yahoo by people. So this information is actually just sourced from what people have done and input into these tools, which now make things very faster and efficient for us. Okay, so where do we actually go from here? Where do we go from here? We'll go to the advent of AI, which is in the early 1950s and 1960s. That what was it really used for then? And I'm also going to be giving us some examples of uh, um, AI at its basic form that we might have probably ignored because we never really thought about them as artificial intelligence. We never really thought about them as though they were intelligent as we thought them to be. They were too basic for us to even recognize them as if they were intelligent. And one of those tools actually is that I would like to. How many of us here have played games like Pro Evolution Soccer, FIFA, chess? What other game? Scrabble. If you have played games like this, I want to just see you react in comment section and then let me know. Okay, I see you, Paul. You have played games like this. So these are actually examples of these are the basic forms of excuse me, these are the basic forms of AI. These are the basic form of artificial intelligence because what they do basically is they try to think like a human. Just like if you're in a subway or you're in transit and then you're going to a place and then there's nobody beside you and you have your headset on, you're thinking about, oh, what can I do to engage myself as I go on this journey? You can flip out your phone and then you can just play Scrabble. You can flip out your phone and you can play chess. You can flip out your phone and play Ludo. Why is it easy for you to be able to play all of these games? Is because of this artificial intelligence that has been programmed with information with probabilities that make you that are not able to think like you would think, that are not able to think as just like probabilities, just like the game of Ludo, for instance, or the game of chess. If you move this way, you can say there are various probabilities of what's it called, of moves that your opponent can make, and then you would still have, so that the game can continue, right? So this AI actually uh, um loaded with data, with probability of data, that okay, if I ask this way, a human can answer this way. So if another human asks this way, another human can answer this way. So these are the, so when you say, when for example for Evolution Soccer, for guys that have played soccer, like if you say, if you're not playing with anybody, you can decide to play with, we'll say we are playing with computer. That is also an example of AI. But I bet in those years in secondary school, we never really called it AI, right? I never called it AI. I don't know if you called it AI, but I never called it AI. It was just a tool. It was just something that we enjoyed. It was just something that we had for fun. But now trouble is brewing, because these things, it looks as if they are getting wiser, and then they know how to do more things than what we have always known them to be. So they have always been around as far back as technology has been around, just that they have only been improved to do more. For example, another example that is going to be very, very close to us is for us creative writers. How many of us use Grammarly here? How many of us use Grammarly? I bet every one of us we use Grammarly, right? So Grammarly is also an example of AI. The Paul is laughing because he uses Grammarly. Grammarly is also an example of AI. It literally looks for your errors. It helps you punctuate your words. It helps you and some other cool things that it helps you to do. Another example of AI is your writer. How many of us use writer here? Writer as in Rytre. Is anybody there? Can you hear me? I want to know I'm not talking to myself, or my network has disconnected.
We
Hello.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello, can you boss?
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay,
can
thank
hear
you so
you.
much.
We
Thank you so
can
much.
hear
Please
you.
drop in comments so that I will know that I'm not talking to myself. So, as I was saying, Grammarly is an example. Um, which other one is an example? There is Anywhere
Freebot.
Editor. Quibot, thank you so much. There is copy.ai. I've used copy.ai like a million times. I cannot begin to tell you how much I've used copy.ai. Right? I've used it like a million times. I've used SEO.io. I've used what other tool is there? They are too much. I've used WordTune, I've used Writer before, and then even ChatGPT, I've used it, right? Because they are just tools. I just see them as, you know as how do I put it now? I just see them as tools that have been, just like I used to play my chess on my phone, just like I used to play Scrabble on my phone, just like I would input something and then I will get a result, and then I will move on, I'll get a result, I'll still input something, I'll get a result. So that is the way I see these tools actually. That is my own basic understanding of these tools. And then, talking about whether they will replace us or not, I would still get there in a little while, but I don't want to jump ahead of myself. So the advent of AI, just to wrap this my slide up, AI has always been around. 1950, 1960, you can do your research. I don't want to go into AI talks now, because we are not talking about really, really the classes and the types of AI now. I just want to focus on what exactly we face as creatives these days, because people have composed threads, people have written Medium articles that AI is going to replace you if you're not careful. This and that. Let's just find out. Okay, let's just find out. Now that we know that AI has always been around, we have examples that we have seen around us, I mean, over time. How did we now get to AI taking our jobs and replacing us? I mean, how did I go from me playing Scrabble to something now threatening the source of my livelihood? How did we get here exactly? Right. But remember what I said earlier on. I said everything that you see today has always been around. They have only just been rediscovered and improved for better or for worse. So this is exactly how we got here. AI has always been in existence. Okay, Ogujide Ayobami, you want to say something? Just go on. Thank you for raising your hand. Was that a mistake? Should I proceed?
You can continue, proceed.
Okay, thank you so much. So, like I just said now, everything you see around has always been. They have only just been rediscovered or improved for better or for worse. Now, what we can see definitely for AI is that they have been improved. They have gone from just giving me probability in Scrabble and in Ludo. You know that you can actually play that Ludo. I used to play it when I was in secondary school, and then what I found out is that you can actually play it to some extent, and then you would be able to win it. You could predict what you would get. Now they have gone from that to actually writing prose, to writing, love letters, or like, I mean, people have used ChatGPT to write like poems. People have used ChatGPT to write, lines of codes. I mean, it's I don't I want to say the word crazy. It's been crazy that people have been using these things to do amazing stuff. I mean, and then just like I can't remember. I think it was Gabriel that said it. It's not just creative writers alone. Designers have faced their own. Let me use the word shaggy. They have faced their own part of shaggy. They have been threatened by artists. Digital artists have also faced their own part of shaggy. There is Mid Journey, there is Lens for those in photography. I mean, this there is the one that can do voice recognition, there is the one that can speak like you, there's the one that can make your videos, there is the one, I mean, basically all creatives actually have a tool right now that seems to be threatening their source of livelihood. So how did we get here? So the simplest answer that I would have to give to that is that these tools have been improved, like I just said. And another very important thing is that every single human on earth is looking for ways to make life a little easier for himself or herself. And this is a very, very practical example. I mean, it's a Nigerian. We all know this, that initially people used to cut their hair with razor blade, right? From that, they migrated to cutting their hair with some would find a stick and then put the razor in at the tip of the stick and then use it to scrape their hair. Then we move to shaving stick. Some still use shaving stick for their hair today. Then we move to wired clippers. Then we move to non-wired clippers. You can see that one, what that tool does is that first it gives you efficiency, and then two, it reduces your human error, and then three, it actually makes life comfortable for you because one, you can actually cut your head with blade, you can cut your hand with blade actually, right? But then using a wired clipper reduces all of that stress, and then it makes it even faster. You can be less careful with a clipper than you'll be less that you but you cannot be less careful with a razor, because if you are less careful with blood everywhere, blood everywhere. So we are all looking for ways to actually make life lenient and then more comfortable for ourselves. That is why these tools are actually being improved. I bet you that if you ask, what's the name of that guy again? I can't remember the name of the founder of ChatGPT, or sorry, OpenAI. I bet you that it would not be, if you interview him and then you ask him today, what was your intention creating ChatGPT? What was your intention creating this AI? I bet you that his answer will not even revolve around taking the jobs of creative. No, this is just narrative that people have sold, the media have sold it, bloggers have sold it because they want engagement. They know that people, one of the things that sell faster is fear, is fright. And then should you pay attention to this news? Yes, but then should you pay attention to the negative energy it brings? Of course not, because fear sells faster. If you see an article that says AI will take the job of creatives, I bet you would, like, your mind, if you're not trying to read it, your mind would definitely drag you to want to read it. So that is one of the things that has caused an high rate of the craze that we see online. So remember this, that every single human on earth is looking for ways to make life easier and and that is why we see the advance of these tools. We see improvement, and then just guess what, more tools are actually going to come. More tools are being developed, more tools are being produced, more tools are undergoing improvement day by day. I was listening to an interview by Elon Musk the other day. There was one that he was working on presently, or not working on, but then he was investing in actually, that it could allow you to speak like anybody that has ever been in existence before. Anybody, like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. There are AI tools that can literally replace you in a meeting. I mean, you don't even have to be here. There's just an AI tool that can do that for you, and then you can do any other thing that you want with your life. So, how did we get to this idea of AI replacing your job, AI replacing you, AI replacing your job? And it is because change is difficult, right? Change is difficult. People are scared to change. I'm not trying to motivate you, but it's actually one of the things that I remember a very funny incident that when I was 15 years old and getting close to my 16th birthday, I didn't want to, like, I didn't want to grow old. Let me just put it that way. I didn't want to leave 15. I don't know, maybe I just loved the number, or I just loved the privilege that was with that age. But I didn't want to grow. I was like, I'm just going to remain at 15. If I it was so bad that it got to an extent that I said, if I see a vampire walk into town now, I think it was that time that I watched Vampire Diaries or the originals or something. I said, if a vampire should just come into town now and just offer that, hey, who wants to volunteer and take my blood? I said, I will just volunteer right now. I just take the blood of this vampire, and then I will just remain forever young, right? We don't like change. Change is difficult. It's very difficult. That's why many at times these tools, that is the fear that these tools is actually creating. First you have to learn about them, first you have to accept them, first you have to accept that they actually exist, and then all this fear actually blinds us from seeing the positive sides of it. Yes, they have their own downside, and Abdul mentioned one the other time. He said that it was reducing his ability to think creatively. Like, as a creative, it is that juice that you need to think creatively. So what happens if you stop producing that juice in your brain? What happens? And then there's other part that we have to consider, which is evolution. If you fail to use your if you fail to use your, just like what's this, like, guys, is it Charles Darwin now propounded the theory of use and disuse? If you fail to use any part of your body for so long, it is going to ultimately affect you. And then when you reproduce, it's going to produce less of that substance in whoever, in whoever you procreate, right? And then, the downside of it, the trend can continue to be sustained and sustained like that. But that's not really the focus. I'm just going to uh, um zero in on the fact that what people do not like change. But the thing is that if we don't adapt to the change that is happening in our surroundings, we will be outdated and will be replaced. That is just the sad truth. We'll be outdated and will be replaced if we do not adapt to the changes around, because everything changes, right? And it's a difficult and a very disadvantageous place to be in if you don't want to change. So what I tell people basically is that, whenever there is a new tool out there, maybe you're a writer or you're just a creative, check this tool out first. I mean, when I do that, it gives me a sense of I don't know, it gives me a sense of some 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 ownership, or some level of confidence if I can just interact with the tool. That is one of the things it does for me, because it is just a tool. I've been using the word tool. I'm deliberately using it because it is just a tool. It cannot be more than a tool, right? So one thing I would quickly like to chip in here is that whenever a tool comes out, whenever a new AI gadget, just learn about it. Even if you are not going to check the tool out, you can watch a YouTube video about it. You can watch how to use it. You can just see and interact with it. That is going to reduce your fear by 50%. I guarantee you that if any tool comes out, just jump on it. Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of change, or don't be scared of oh, there's another one out there. Oh, don't be, all these people that are looking for engagement on Twitter, they will keep, making people run mad, making people run elter skelter for what is not right. So any tool that comes out, make it your assignment to check them out. Just check them out. They will not bite you. They will not suck your blood from the internet. Just check every tool that comes out. Just check them out. Right. So that is another thing that I want to say in this current slide, of how we go to AI taking our jobs. Quickly, I'll wrap it up. Things are improving. We are all improving. We're looking for ways to make life easier for ourselves. Okay. It has a downside, but one of the things that you have to know is that anything you fight against, it actually gains resistance, right? Anything you fight against. I'm looking for the best example, but there is none coming to my head than, say, for instance, now LGBTQ in Nigeria, for instance, now it is currently banned, right? But then we still see that there is a widespread of LGBTQ people, right? There is a widespread. So anything you fight against, there is no way. It is just going to, you can read history, you can read the trend, you can read whatever it is that has happened in history. Just carefully observe them. Everything that you fight against is going to gain massive widespread. Just note that. So you cannot fight AI, you cannot fight the production, you cannot fight the creation of it. Elon Musk is probably right now still pumping money into one AI tool like that. He's still pumping money into one mad project like that. So Forget about the fear. It is just what? A tool. But this one I want to say now, it's actually going to eat hard, because this is actually one of the reasons how we got to AI taking our jobs. If you are constantly worried about AI taking your job or replacing you, we can as well say that you have not built enough fortitude and mastery with your craft. I like what Abu Mumin said earlier. I love what he said. He said what it was reducing his creative juice. And this is what AI does not have. AI feeds on information, it feeds on your data, it feeds on your it feeds on the data on the internet, it feeds on information people have provided, and it just makes it available for you at the snap of a finger. So if you're worried about AI taking your job or replacing you as a writer, as a designer, as an artist, we can as well say that you have not enough fortitude, or you have not mastered your craft well enough, because AI is not empathetic. AI cannot it cannot give that human touch. It can't prove it can, if you're just it's just like having a robot in your house. So excuse me. Get me a glass of water, it gets it for you. Get me my towel, it gets it for you. Cook me noodles, it gets that for you. And it's just that. It just operates based on whatever you say. You say go, it goes. You say come, it comes. So it's just there. There is no human feeling about it. There is no there is no empathy. There is that touch, that human touch is not there. So this is actually what is going to give you your edge over every tool that comes out. This is going to give you the edge over every tool that comes out, because you are human. And never forget that the um the creation is never greater than the creator. Right? The creation is never greater than the creator. So it's safe to say that you are the model that is being used to create all of these tools. How can you, being the model, now fear what is being created? It is an aberration. It means that something is wrong somewhere. Not with the tool, but definitely with you and who you are. So one of the things that you have to do is master your craft. Own it. Because more tools are going to come out, more crazy tools are going to come out, more tools that will do things faster and easier will come out. So what is going to separate you from those who write, copywriters, content writers, ad writers, video writers, uh, um, poem writers, through any kind of writing, what is going to separate you is your authenticity. What makes you human is going to be what separates you from all the other writers, from all the other kinds of writing. That is exactly what is going. So I sound it again, that master your craft. You have to be more sophisticated. As much as these tools are getting more sophisticated, you have to become more sophisticated with your craft. This is not the time to just sit down around and say, oh, I'm a copywriter, I can do this. No, learn more, stay ahead of the curve, know what is happening, know which tool is actually coming out, know which tool they are pumping money into now. You can literally set Google alerts on your phone, and then you would know when all of these things are being pumped out. So be ahead of the curve, own your skills, become a master, take courses. Don't just say, oh, I'm a copywriter, I took Coursera course in 2020 and I'm just there. No, this is a lot has happened since 2022, 2023, right? A lot has happened, a lot has changed. It's just like entering Twitter after a day, right? Like if you, I don't know if there's anybody like that. Sometimes I just log off Twitter for like 1 hour or maybe one day, and when I'm back, I find out that I'm lost in this cobweb. I don't understand jack that anybody is saying, right? So that is just how it is. I'm not saying that stay on the news or stay on the for 24 hours, but you can literally find information that are very, very profitable to you. Like just type in the keywords or AI on Google and go to the latest bar. You would literally find what is top trending. Go to YouTube, you literally find what is top trending. You see interviews of people, and then you would know where exactly you can go from where. I repeat this: if you are worried about AI taking your job, whether you're a designer, whether you're a developer, whether you're a copywriter, it means that what we can say that you have not built enough fortitude and mastery with your craft. So your number one assignment when you leave this place is that what you go back to your drawing board, right? And begin to relearn what you have learned and look for ways to have hedge in your space wherever you're working at, maybe in your company or maybe at the place you're volunteering, so that you can stay ahead of the curve, because more tools, will be created, more tools will be developed, more tools would actually would still come into existence. So at this point, does anybody have something to say? Before I continue, I'd love to hear from you. Have you gained anything so far? I just want to hear. I want to see feedbacks. Hello, is anybody there? Can anyone hear me? Mumin, are you still there?
We can hear you well with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I can proceed. So I believe that you say you can hear me, but I'm just not getting the feedback. Am I boring you guys?
Can you hear
Okay. Okay, thank you. Maybe you guys would have your questions. If in case you have questions, just note them down so that maybe I'll just finish up in time so that we can wrap up and then I would answer questions and then we can go. Okay. So now that we have talked about all of these things, where we're coming from, the advent of AI, some common AI tools that we never really thought were AI because they were not as sophisticated as we thought they were, but we found out that more sophisticated ones are coming out. We've talked about how we got to AI actually replacing our job. One, fear sells, right? Fear sells. The media has made it that way. And two, you have to improve yourself, master your skill, and hone it if you need to have an edge on all these tools. And three, Deborah, do you want to say something? Okay. So, and three, everything has been improved. We're all looking for ways to make things simpler, things efficient, things faster. So it is just a tool. See it as just a tool. When a new tool comes out, make sure you check it out. It's not going to bite you, it's not going to suck your blood, it's not going to give you 666. Okay. So just check it out. Just check it out, guys. So what exactly is the way forward now? What exactly is the way forward from here? What is also to say, just like the our topic says, what is the way forward? What is the fate for creatives? Now I said um there are two categories of creatives, and wherever you fall determines your fate. Okay, wherever you fall determines your fate. There are those who grab on these tools and turn it to their advantage. When the tools come out, they check it out, they look at the meaningful things that people are saying, they take away the emotions from the facts. Okay, they look at the positive side, the bright side, the silver lining, and then they use it to their own advantage. And there's another set, those who don't grab on the tools but suck on what people are saying about it, and then they continue to complain about it. So whichever part you fall, or whichever category you fall as a creative, a designer, a content writer, a copywriter, it is going to tell. I've never complained about AI since they started coming out, since they started making them. I've never had to complain about them because it's just like I said initially, it's just like a tool to me. It's just like a tool. It's just like how I would interact with my Scrabble game online. It's just like how I would interact with my chess game online. So you don't see me, if you know that I've seen me complain about AI, just drag my clothes now and say that I'm lying. Just say that it's false. Just let me know and call me to order. I never had to complain about it because I just stay at top of my game. I stay on top of my game. So there are two kinds of creatives: those who grab on the tools and turn it to their advantage, those who don't grab on the tools or complain about them. So which one exactly are you? Which one of these creatives are you going to be? Right, there are several advantages that you can take from it. Just make sure that you learn of these tools and use them to your own advantage. I've used ChatGPT like 1 million times. I'm telling you guys, I've used it like 1 million times. I don't have the time to complain about it because I know that where the world is going, where tech is going. I mean, for God's sake, there are self-driving cars already. There are self-driving cars already. There are many things in the future that are going to happen that you would not even have to do with your own strength anymore. I mean, there is Neuralink already. Does anyone know what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink right now? Hello, does anyone know what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink right now? It's just going to is Neuralink basically functions like a mini hospital. You can literally just insert it in someone's brain, and then it is going to diagnose what is happening in the person's brain, and then effect it's not just going to diagnose, it's going to effect healing to that person's brain. I mean, doctors can come out and say, oh, Neuralink is going to take our jobs. No, no, right? Because they even say it does not still mean that Neuralink will still not. I mean, Elon Musk is like the richest man in the world, so he can literally pump money and make sure that his rich research goes through the roof and makes it a success. So more tools are going to be created, more crazy and amazing tools are going to be created. You just need to stay ahead of the curve. Just make sure that you are in the number one category of these types of creative. Don't be in the number two. Don't follow them to complain. Just follow them to observe, follow them to think through and see the bright side, follow them uh, 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 um to to innovate, to change. Don't be static. You're a creative, don't be static. As you know that your creativity, I don't know, mine, it flows with the environment that I'm in. But if I'm in some environment, my creative juice will not flow. It's just like that with uh, uh um with working with people. ChatGPT has helped my creativity flow. I'm thinking about something, I'm trying to brainstorm, and then I just input what do you have to do about blah 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 blah, blah. And then I just get several ideas, and I'm like, this is actually great. And then I just carry it, I go ahead and I tweak it, I make it human-like, I make it more friendly, I make it um very what's it called, user-centered. I mean, I make it suitable for my audience, right? I make it suitable for my audience. I just put those touches, and then it makes me very, very efficient and fast. I don't suck into it all the time. It's just when I'm eating a block that I do that. So you have to know how best you want to step into this thing. Just step into it and make it to your own advantages. Many tools will still be created. I tell you for a fact, many tools will still be created, and you just have to capitalize on what you have and make the best of it. So if you're not been using ChatGPT, or if you have not even been using any of these tools, and then you're creative, you are you're behind. Okay, you're behind. Be open-minded and try them out. Can make use of AI in a number of ways to improve your work. For language generation, you can use it for research analysis, you can contribute, but overall, you can use it to improve your work and writing process in unimaginable ways. That made me more faster, it has made me more efficient. And then, and one thing I would really like to talk about also is the fact that, Momin talked about it, you know, what's the word he used again? He's enjoying his creative flow. He's not allowing him to be creative as he used to be. You have to be able to know to draw the thin line between the two, right? If you're running on a, let's say, a tight schedule, or a, you can't seem to, it's just like you would go to Pinterest as a designer. It's just like you would go to YouTube as a writer. It's just like you would read other articles. It's just like you would go to Medium and hear what someone is saying. It's just like you have a let's say you want to publish for a magazine, and then you source for information here and there, and then you put your own thought. That is exactly how I see all of these tools. It is just a tool. So I put a question to you now. The two categories of creatives that we have: those who grab on the tools and turn it to their advantages, and those who don't grab on the tools but complain about them. Which one are you going to be? Which one are you going to be? So I'm just going to give the room for question or questions or contribution, or there's something that you want to say, or there's something that you're not clear about. There's a balance that you need me to give to this discussion. So the floor is yours, and thank you for paying attention so far. Thank you. Over to you, host.
Thank you so much for your wonderful contribution to this event. I would like us to take questions now. He's still with us, and he's going to answer all our questions. And you can keep the questions coming. You can write them in the comment section, and then I'll just read them out. so that he can answer them. Okay, I am not seeing any questions. Is in my network? I'm not seeing any questions in the comment section. Um, okay, so I would like to open the floor. So you've asked us to view AI tools as, as what they are, tools to enhance our progress and our efficiency and our work. So, where should we cut the line? Um, okay, that's my question. Where should we cut the line when it comes to using ChatGPT as so is there something we shouldn't do?
Okay, that's a very good question. What you should not do if you're using all of this tool is don't copy. There's a word that we use. I can't find the right word now. Uh, don't just do copy and paste. Let me put it that way. Don't. It's going to tell basically. It's going to tell. For example, if you're doing a research work and you're using ChatGPT, it can be erroneous sometimes because the information set on it it's not up to I think that it is last updated in 2022. So it doesn't have any information from that till now. Is it 2022 or 2020? I'm not really sure. So it doesn't have any information from then till now. So if you're using ChatGPT for a research work or a what's it called, a thesis that you want to write, it might be erroneous on the dates or on the qualifications or on the facts that it gives you. So you need to do a little bit of more cross-checking in those kind of areas. So if you're using it for that, it can be erroneous. And two, you don't want to copy and paste because you are just going to look fake. People, especially for a writer, you speak to emotions, you evoke something in people. So if you are writing that you're copying aimlessly from ChatGPT, it is not going to deliver. It's not going to give as it is supposed to give. So that is where you draw the line. Don't copy blindly and then cross-check your facts, figures, and data. Thank you.
So what if you're on a tight deadline and you're like, I don't know, you're 1 minute late and you have not reached half of what you're supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
Okay. For that, if you have a tight deadline, I see two issues here because one, well, before ChatGPT came, you would have still had this kind of what's it called? You would have still had this tight deadline. So how were you solving your issue before ChatGPT came? Right? How were you solving your issue? So there's one part of being there's one part of being what's the word now? There's one part of being productive, being able to manage your time for the tasks that you have at hand. And there's another part of using ChatGPT for your efficiency. Okay, so you can use it on tight deadlines. If what you're doing, say, you just need to maybe you need to write something, maybe an art copy, maybe a caption, maybe an headline, maybe a sales copy page and stuff like that. If it does not include a lot of facts and figures, you can use that for some sort of rush work, right? But especially what I'm talking about is if he has facts and figures inside of it, it may not be accurate in some aspects because we have seen ChatGPT being asked questions about, I saw one the other day was asking about, the iPhone 14 Pro and some specs about it, and then we found out that person that was doing the review on YouTube found out that some of the things that were being said there was not accurate. So person had to, work on that. But if you are using it for other stuffs like just a copy that you can just read, just need to tweak it a bit and then make it presentable. It's not an excuse to actually still do the job. What will give you the edge right, above or in your space is that you are able to use this tool as a tool. You're able to use it to produce more, right? That's just what I want to say. Hope that answers you.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, I'm Ikma.
Good
Yeah, I
evening,
have a
Ikma.
question. I have a
Please go
question.
ahead.
Yeah, well done, Musa Doluwa. Like the section is very, very interesting. So I want to ask a question. The question is just how can a beginner in any creative field balance between these AI tools? Do you
How
get
can it?
my question? Like a beginner in any of these creative field,
Yes.
how can they balance between using their creativity and using AI tools?
Okay. Good
Yeah.
question. If you're a beginner, it's actually very tricky for you because you would think that you have something that can actually do all that you want, like in an instance, and bam, it's ready. But initially, when I was still speaking, I think about 30 minutes into this, I said something that there are more tools that are going to be created in the future. But what is going to separate those who just copy and paste from these tools, or those who just use them aimlessly or blindly, from those who have actually who have actually owned their skills, is going to be mastery and authenticity. That is going to be the key difference. So if you're a beginner, it puts you in a place of you have really not done much. You're just starting out. It's good that the tools are there to help you think. What you should actually push you to do is actually to increase your creative juice and to make your work easier, not to totally take away that part of you doing the thing yourself. Okay, what it's supposed to do is to help you be efficient and help your learning curve. Actually, it's supposed to help your learning curve because I still learn with these tools, because sometimes I'm writing something and then I check, say, just like Grammarly, you know i I understand English. I've been speaking in English for like an hour now, but if I write some things in Grammarly, he underlines them and he says this verb is this kineko is that, and stuff like that. I don't mean for saying kineko, I just like code switching. I'm a Yoruba boy, so it comes like that. So it tells me that, and then I learn. But sometimes it even pushes me further to Google articles online and say, okay, how do you use this verb? How do you use this? Past participle goes with this and that. So it pushes me further to learn. It doesn't just make me recline, because the disadvantage of that is if you recline, or if you just stay back and say, oh, the tool is going to do everything for me. When an advanced tool comes, there will not be space for you. Do you get? You can as well say that, oh, I'm just going to wait till an advanced tool comes. That would be a very, very disadvantageous place to be. So that is the thin line for beginners especially. Don't just rely on the tools. Still learn. Let them push you to learn, not just to make you comfortable in your space. Because you would know that you don't know Jack, right? You would know is that you don't know Jack. That is just the tool that is helping you, and that is not sustainable. It cannot sustain you in the long run. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you very much. I really
You're
appreciate.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Damola, for a wonderful question. Thank you to Masa for giving us great answers to those questions. Thank you most importantly for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much. We appreciate from GDSC Learning and from GDSC Content Creation Team. Um, the most interesting thing is that he used to be um, team lead for content creation team from the core team in GDSC Learning. We miss you. Um,
Same here.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate. I hope we have all learned from this session. So it was really informative for me because, well, as a creative, as a freelance writer, I basically have to fulfill task every day, and it can be really tasking when you have um um what's the word, when you have to meet up with quotas every day, and sometimes most times you just have to like rely on some tools, but not rely totally, I guess. And a few like yeah, like Musa has said, the best way is to rely on AI tools as tools, not not as, I don't know what's the word to say, Musa. We don't rely on them 100%. We only make them we only use them to make us more efficient. Yes, and to learn more. Yes, and to push us. Thank you so much. I don't know if you still have questions. Um, if you still have questions, you can still drop them. We'll be taking like 2 questions or three. If we don't have, I guess that will be the end of this session.
Sorry, I just have a suggestion.
You have
Please go on.
a question.
Suggestion, just like yeah, like I really want you to like this kind of section maybe revolve around AI, cause like this section really opened my eyes, cause I was among, should I say, the first section of people that are just kind of like afraid of the AI, just to open people's eye more. Do you get? So maybe we can just revolve around it, talk about topics, how AI can still be of more benefit. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I'm trying to get you. Do you mean like a section on what am I getting that
Yeah,
feedback?
related section to this. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you want me to do that personally, or I think you're gonna have to talk with your lead or something like that. Because I'm not
No,
not a member.
I'm
I think
directing
I'm
my
supposed to.
my suggestion to the lead, to the GDSC.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, point taken. Thank you so much to everyone for your presence. Your presence is as well honored, and we're grateful for your presence because your presence made this session possible. A round of applause for everyone. Thank you for taking time to develop yourself. Um, good night, everyone, and I hope you're not so tensioned by the election results. Good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Take care of yourself.